Good Thursday evening, high school sports fans. Joe Gilloway with Linglestown Gazette Sports live from the Orchard Street studio. And this is episode 27 of our weekly podcast, Gazette Sports Chat, where we'll get to know participants from various realms of the high school sports world, the student athletes who play the games, the coaches who coach them, and others connected in different ways to the entire experience. We'll introduce you tonight to tonight's guests in just a moment, as soon as we're done thanking those responsible for bringing you tonight's show, our Linglestown Gazette Sports Platinum sponsors. And they are Rickaba's Electric, Payer Apparel, Ted's Bar and Grill, Freedom Financial Wealth Management, The Tire Mart, Team PA, AAU Basketball, Tonino's Pizza, American Legion Post 272, Hoffman Ford, Capital Region Insurance Agency, Modern Imprint, Sam Hartley Decking, Crystal Bob at Howard Hanna Real Estate, and Underdog Sports Bar and Grill. Thank you to those great local businesses for their continued support of Linglestown Gazette Sports and our area student athletes. Upcoming, we got a lot of stuff upcoming. I'm going to try to get through this quickly, but I want to let everybody know that we have some really awesome student athletes as guests in the upcoming weeks. So first of all, our high school hoops recap show is typically Sunday nights at 6 o'clock. We're going to move that back to Saturday night at 6. And our opening guest is Andre Anderson. He's the head coach of Carlisle High School. So that'll be a great show. And we're moving it back for this. We have a girls basketball, 4 different players from 4 different schools. Jayla Kozier, Kyla Correa, Amaya Stewart, and Peyton Dincher. They are from Middletown, Lebanon, Wyomissing, and Jersey Shore, respectively. Then we have a boys basketball show on Wednesday, the 29th. This coming Wednesday, Alfonso Burnett from Susquehanna Township, Aiden Sally from Big Spring, Cam Sweeney from Hershey, and Parker Smith from Carlisle. And then the last scheduled show we have like 3 more, but the last one we have scheduled Thursday, February 6th, we have some girls wrestlers coming in. Eva Cruz Germain from Central Dauphin East, Alicia Hidalgo from Camp Hill, Callie Bauer from Mechanicsburg, and Kylie Trossel from Elko, Eastern Lebanon County. So that's what we got going on. And then a couple more shows after that on the books, just not with a date yet. So anyway, tonight's guests on Gazette Sports Chat are 3 of the major reasons why Altoona girls basketball has made a big push over the past few seasons towards becoming one of the top girls basketball programs in the state. They helped their 2022-2023 team win the coveted Mid-Penn Commonwealth Division title and are in a position to capture a second in 3 years, along with a chance to bring home their first ever Mid-Penn Conference tournament championship title. It is my pleasure to bring in 3 of the top girls basketball players in Central PA from arguably the top team in Central PA, at least right now, Altoona area high schools, Melana Eyer, Lanie, Wilt, and Zaelinh Moore. Ladies, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Did I get that all right? I mean, I said you play in Central PA. You're not kind of located in Central PA, but I looked at it on the map. It's kind of like where Central and West meets, I guess, Altoona, right?
Yeah.
So you're not either, but you're both at the same time. So I'm excited to have you guys. I've seen you guys play a bunch of times, and man, you're good. You know, that's all I'm going to say is you're really good. I've announced you guys. I'm the public address announcer at. Give me some space here, Central Dauphin. That's right. That's where I do my announcing. But you know, I'm there announcing for them, and that's how I became fans of you guys. I watched you guys play, and I thought, man, they're so good, and I just am excited to have you on the show. And I reached out to your coach, Chris Flegel, 4th-year head coach, I think. Chris Flegel. Did Coach Flegel come in when you 2 came in, Lanie and Melana? You guys kind of come in together.
6. I think it's his 6th year. Yeah.
It's his 6th year.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think so.
okay. All right. I got that wrong then. Okay. But you guys came in right behind. You guys are kind of like a package, though, right? The current players and Coach Flegel have been kind of at this together for last almost 4 years. So anyway, let's start with this. I like to ask this question right out of the gate. Anybody can answer it, or a couple of you can answer. How was practice today?
Practice was fun.
It was good.
It was fun.
It was a fun one, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this, too, and I'm not asking for any strategy, no X's or O's. Zaelinh, what's a typical Coach Chris Flegel practice like? Not a walkthrough, like a regular practice when you're kind of getting ready for a big game?
Well, as like the years went on, at least since I've came up to like high school, he's kind of sat back more, and like our assistant coaches kind of take over the practices. Like Casey's our defensive coach, and then Mike Reed, he's our offensive coach. So like right before game days, like we'll do our routine, like our ritual, I guess you could say. We do a couple of drills that we always do the day before games. And then we'll do a lot of set stuff, and Casey will work on our defense while Mike works on our offense. And then we'll go over the other team's like plays and just
Right.
stuff like
How about film? Lanie, do you guys watch a lot of film?
Honestly, it depends on who we're playing. We watched film, I think, twice this year. For
You
big
don't have
games.
to. You don't have to. I was just going to say you don't have to give away the teams. I'm just assuming
no,
it's probably for the bigger
yeah.
games, probably, right?
Yeah, but yeah, when it's big games, we usually watch film.
And I feel like we watch film on ourselves more
Yeah,
than the
that
other
too.
team.
Mhm.
Right. See what you're doing right or what you may not be doing right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Melana, let me ask you this: you guys are 14-2 with the division title in your control, and I'm not trying to. I don't want like your coach and your parents to get. I'm not trying to get you to believe your own hype. Do you know what that means? You know,
Yeah.
you got to try to stay a day at a time, a game at a time, a practice at a time. But you're 14-2, and assess the season to this point, Melana.
Honestly, I feel like this is one of the best seasons I've played since I was a freshman. Like, as a team, we're playing really well together. Like, everyone's sharing the ball, and like every game, like somebody steps up and kind of gets us to where we need to be at and to get a win.
Yeah, I've watched you play twice this year, once in person and once online. And man, do you guys ever share the ball? I mean, there's no defense out there when you're doing it right. You know, I'm sure you haven't played your ideal game every game, but when you're doing it right, it's really hard to keep up with that ball if you're on defense against you guys. Lanie, do you guys get together as a team before the season and set any goals?
Yeah, every year preseason we have a team meeting and we write down goals for ourselves and our team. And then this year we shared our goals with each other, and we had like a pretty common goal of making a good run in states, which I think where we're at right now and how we're playing, we're going to meet that goal. And I think it's really good how we have our goals at the beginning of the year, because it kind of sets like a precedent with everyone on the team that this is kind of like an expectation for us almost. And yeah.
I've noticed that for those at home, I don't think I mentioned this. Lanie and Melana are seniors, and Zaelinh, you're a junior, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so the way that you guys have gotten to this point is when you're a freshman, you lost in the District 6 championship. When you were sophomores, you won one game in states. Last year as juniors, and you as a sophomore, Zaelinh, you won 2 games in state. So it's kind of only natural that you progress from there, you know. And I know a lot of that has to do with your draw and who you have to play and all that stuff. But I mean, I think you guys are good enough to beat like really good teams. You know, I really, really do. Again, don't believe your own hype. But yeah, I mean, I know what a really good 6A girls basketball team looks like in Pennsylvania. And you guys are one for sure. Zaelinh, certainly. Yeah. Zaelinh, are you guys able to kind of like stay in the moment? Like I said, one game at a time, one practice at a time. Do the older players on the team, and I would say you're one of the older players, you know, are you guys able to instill that mentality into everybody else who might be getting maybe too excited or too ahead of themselves about where you guys are as a team?
Yeah, I definitely say like earlier this season which everybody knows, like when we lost to State College, it was a hard blow for us just as a team because we went into the season thinking like they're obviously one of our rivals and we're one of their rivals and we obviously want to beat them. And I just feel like when we lost to them, it was kind of like a blow to our chest. But then from there, we just worked harder to come back better. And then the second time when we played them, we ended up beating them. And that really just let us know as like a team that we were going to stick together. And I think it's going to be really it's going to be a key when we go into states because we're going to have to stick together as a team to make it far.
I'm going to say this. You didn't, but I will. You did a little more than just beat State College last
Yeah.
time. That was, what that looked like to me. And I just saw the score. I didn't watch the game. I said that looks like a team who was very upset about the outcome of the first game.
Mhm.
And I know you guys play a good, clean game, and nobody's trying to run the score up or rub it in. But I bet you guys just were clicking on all cylinders that night. And that's how the outcome is when that happens. So great win there. And I don't know if you know this, but Central Dauphin East beat State College by 10 last night.
We saw, yeah.
We're
We're watching it on the bus.
The East is improving. I can tell you that. I don't want to call that a total fluke because that's disrespectful to East, but the Mid-Penn Commonwealth can get a little bit wacky sometime, at least with the upper level teams. Melana, talk a little bit about, sometimes it feels like in the blink of an eye, you go from a freshman and you're 14 or 15, you're just kind of sucking it all in from the older girls. And, you were in that position just a few years ago. Talk a little bit about, and Lanie too, being seniors on this team and being kind of obligated at this point to be a leader, be a big sister sometimes, or, just a friend. And you can separate basketball sometimes in friendship. You see some of your teammates may be hurting or just need, a hug or something. Talk about that role, Melana.
Well, first of all, like the 4 years, it like blows by.
Yeah, it really does.
It really blows by. But like, I feel like out of all the 4 years, this year, it feels good like being a leader on a team where everyone gets along.
Mhm.
And I feel like no matter if you're a freshman or a senior, like if you walked into a practice, like you wouldn't tell who's a freshman, who's a sophomore, who's a junior, who's a senior, because that's just like the team chemistry that we have. And I'm like glad that I could be a part of that and kind of take the leadership role to show the younger kids like what kind of culture we have on our team.
That's a great answer. How about you, Lanie?
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I mean, Melana and I have had to actually all three of us have really kind of had a leadership role since we were all young, just because me and Zay are point guards, and then Melana and I started freshman, sophomore year, so we were thrown right in there. So I think just like all three of us are kind of natural leaders, and I feel like we're pretty good leaders, I would say, but
I would say
even
so.
even outside of basketball, I think that the reason why our team does so well is because honestly, all of us are like best friends on our team, and it really hasn't been like that the past couple of years. So I think that's why we're finding so much success this year, like Melana said, just because of our chemistry. And honestly, it feels really good to be able to have like the younger girls trust us a lot. I feel like trust is kind of what's been helping us a lot this year. Like Brianna coming in, she's a freshman. I mean, she's played big minutes, she's had big buckets, and she trusts us, we trust her, and that's what Melana was saying about how it wasn't, you couldn't tell if we were sophomores, freshmen, juniors, or seniors, because everyone just steps up and plays, and none of us care about none of us are petty. I think that's like where I would go, because I feel like a lot of times in sports it can get like that, but all of us just want to see each other succeed, which is I think what helps us.
Yeah, and I feel like everyone's like comfortable on our team. Like I feel like we don't treat freshmen like they're less than us or anything. Like I feel like we like as a team and like leaders, I think we build everyone up. And I feel like in the gym we never have bad attitudes. Nobody on our team like takes energy away. I feel like we're all like energy givers to each other.
Awesome. That's a great answer. I want to give you a standing ovation for both of your answers, because that's how teams succeed. It really is. And when you say that it's hard to tell the difference, other than you obviously know the difference between a freshman and a sophomore or a junior and a senior, that means you guys are doing a great job of embracing one another and letting everybody know that we're all equal parts to this mission here. So that's a great answer there. Let's shift gears here a little bit. And I'm going to ask Zaelinh this question. Altoona pizza. Okay. Right. Because for those at home that don't know, now I've known what it is for years because I used to sell food for a living. I'm kind of like a foodie.
Like the
Does,
cheese.
does Zaelinh know what Altoona pizza is? Does anybody
Like
there
that?
know what?
No,
It's like
that's
it has American
it's
cheese
like
on it.
it's like the cheese slice and it has like peppers.
Somebody's
Oh,
got it.
oh,
Who knows? Who knows? Who knows what
Well,
Altoona
I
pizza is?
do not know what you're
Okay.
talking
Tell the people, Zaelinh, I have other questions for you. Okay. Altoona pizza, man, it's kind of crazy. You know, it's completely different than any other pizza. I've had it. I had it from 29th Street Pizza. Are you guys familiar with that place?
Mhm.
It's like a real long, thin building. It sits on a corner, I guess, of 29th Street, something. But tell the viewers, what is Altoona pizza?
Well, it's like a square piece of pizza with like green peppers and stuff, and then there's like American cheese on
I
it.
think there's some sort of meat.
Yeah,
on it
I don't
too.
even know.
Salami. It's salami.
Salami,
Yeah.
Disgusting.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like.
Oh, I
So
think it's disgusting.
and now you said American cheese. It's just like slices of American
Yes,
cheese.
it's like a slice
just-
of cheese.
Yeah, it looks like. And I ate it, and I enjoyed it. You know, I didn't love it, but I enjoyed it. You know, it looks like something you'd make at home if you were like if the refrigerator was bare and you were just pulling ingredients out and like.
Yeah.
But it's a very popular, especially in Altoona. And I was told that it started with the Altoona Hotel. Is that still in existence?
Yeah.
I guess many years ago they were kind of short on food or so. I don't know how it happened, but they came up with that and it just kind of stuck. So you don't, being from Altoona, you're not necessarily an Altoona pizza person, right?
No.
Okay, all right. Let's move on. Let's move on. Okay, Zaelinh, I'll ask you this: since you weren't the pizza aficionado, what is there to do in Altoona? What do you guys do when you're not, or what do you do when you're not playing basketball, going to school? Zaelin's not liking her questions. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Well, Altoona, I mean, I guess it's not small. Like compared to Hollidaysburg, we're big, but
No,
I
it's-
would still consider us small.
Mhm.
And sometimes I guess the activities can get repetitive, you could say, like just because there's only so much to do.
Right.
But personally, like what I do when we don't have basketball is hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
Okay. That seems to be a really common, popular answer with student athletes, with kids. Do you guys, Zaelinh, do you guys support like other sports programs? Do you go out to like maybe the boys' games? If you don't have a game, do you go to, was it Mansion Park or what's the
Mansion.
Mansion Park Field? Do you guys go watch the football team sometime?
Yeah.
Yep, yeah.
I'd say our school's pretty good at supporting other sports. Like we could be better for sure, but I think that honestly, like we're pretty good at getting to other sports and like hoping that they'll come for us.
Right.
Right, exactly. So you guys have their facilities are second to none. I mean, that football field obviously is incredible, but your gym too is just so big. Does that place ever get like close to filled up? I mean, it's huge.
When we play Holidaysburg,
Yeah, it's
Oh, does
sometimes-
it?
Yeah.
yeah, when we play
Wow.
Holidaysburg, which they're like our crosstown rivals. So I mean,
Right.
like fans from both like towns will come and support.
And even just like random,
Yeah.
like BG, like other teams around our area, a lot of them will come too.
Yeah, it's a great gym. So we know that I guess Zaelinh, you said you like to hang out with your friends when you're not. What about let's help the other two? And all right, besides hanging out with your friends, because I know you guys are like really close friends. Lanie, what do you like to do?
Well, I mean, I agree with Zay that there's not much to do here, but I feel like in the summer, there's a lot more to do. We have a lot of like football fields that we can go to that are like open to the public, and I know like my friends, we play like spike ball and like volleyball, soccer. So
What is spike ball?
it's okay. Oh, it's like how I don't even know.
This
how
is
to-
educational here. We're going to learn
It's
something
like
new tonight.
So it's like this like round. It's a circle net, and it's a mini ball, and it looks like a volleyball.
Mhm.
It's
It's like, have you ever played what's it called? Foursquare?
Foursquare, yeah.
yeah.
It's like Foursquare and volleyball kind of
Yeah.
mixed.
Okay.
yeah, but
Okay.
it's really and it gets really competitive.
Melana, how about you? What do you like to do outside of basketball, school?
Well, like outside of school basketball, we have a local gym. It's called the Summit, and like a bunch of kids from our area, like boys and girls, will play pickup all the time. Like sometimes like they have runs like Wednesday and Friday mornings. Like we'll go sometimes to play. Like there's like older guys that go there, like experienced players, like college players and stuff. And we play pickup a lot.
Do you guys go as a group?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, those other teams are probably in trouble, huh? But I guess it gets tough though, playing against the grown men and stuff. But I'm sure they're very impressed with you guys. So anyway, nobody said sleep. Sleep's a very common answer. When I ask these, I think some people are afraid to say it, like they don't want to sound like they're lazy or something like that. But you guys need downtime too. You know, you need to sleep and you need to take some time off. And okay, Melana, do your classmates kind of recognize what you've been doing here for the last 3.5 years? Like how good a team you are, how you guys are kind of, this has not been a bad program before you guys came. I want to be clear about that. You guys have a history of really good girls basketball, but you guys have kind of put yourselves back on the map or in the school, within the school's walls. Do people recognize that? Is there like a little bit extra energy surrounding that?
I'm like not, I guess I am biased, but like I honestly feel like we're the best sport in the school. And
no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it.
And I feel like it's nice because when you're walking down the hallways, like teachers and like principals, and they're like say good job or like keep up the good work. Like anywhere you go, walking through the hallways, like I feel like somebody recognizes you.
That's wonderful. That was the answer I was hoping for when I wrote this question down. And yeah, you guys are. I mean, I'll say from an outside perspective, I cover high school sports for a living. You guys are it in that school. At least right now you are. The girls basketball, you're it in the Mid-Penn right now. And statewide, you're top, I don't know, 3, 4, 7, something like that. So that's why I'm hoping that the people closest to you recognize that and that they know that, that you're doing that for them too. I think, you're doing it for your school, for your classmates, for your teachers, for your community. So that's good to hear. That's what I was hoping to hear. So you guys kind of answered this one, but earlier, Lanie, I had this for you. Talk about the connection, the friendship between you guys as teammates, but how does that kind of carry over outside of basketball?
Yeah, it definitely does carry over. I mean, I know personally, out of the 4 years that I've been at Altoona, this is like the year that I'm closest with like the most people on the team. And I mean, we do stuff like outside of basketball. I just feel like we have a lot of fun with each other. Like even on the bus, sometimes we get a little rowdy, and
that's good. That's good.
Yeah. So I just would say that how we have relationships with each other outside of basketball is kind of what like fuels our games and stuff, because if you don't have trust in your teammates and you don't have that connection, it can be really hard to play with each other and succeed. So like I said earlier, I feel like that's kind of what has brought us a lot of success.
I always say, watch out for the teams that are having fun. When you see like boys or girls or whoever on the sideline, like laughing and high-fiving, whether it's baseball or football or basketball, they're usually playing very well, and it shows. I mean, what's more fun for an athlete than winning? That's how you derive fun. So I'm glad to hear you say that you're not only winning, but you're enjoying one another's company and enjoying being out there with each other. Okay, Zaelinh, talk about a 12-month kind of a year-round basketball routine for you. Okay, I know from, let's say you started in December to March, you're going to be playing for Altoona, but there's other things that a lot of people don't know about. There's AAU, there's training, there's summer leagues. I don't know if you play in a summer league. I think you guys do. There's open gym is kind of in the months leading up. What do you do on a year-round basis, and do you take any time off?
So the last question, not really. I mean, like this past year, I took a good 2-week break after AAU season ended, just to kind of let like my mental health and like my physical health
2 whole
come
weeks?
back. Yeah.
Wow.
I know it was hard to convince my dad.
Gee. That's not much time, but that's okay. I mean, you love basketball. I could tell you guys love basketball. Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's okay. But after school ball ends, AAU starts pretty soon after. Like, there's probably like a 2-week, maybe 3-week break. But like, I still play basketball just because AAU starts up so soon. And then AAU ends at the end of July, right?
Mhm.
July.
Mhm.
And then at the end of July, after AAU ends, school starts in August. And Coach Flegel usually lets us like get back into school before we start preseason, even though it's like not very long, but
It's like
Right.
2 weeks.
it's like 2
That's
weeks
okay.
again.
That's time off. That's rest. That's
Yeah.
available time to do other things.
Yeah. And then we usually through summer we try to have our summer league. Sometimes like us three, like since we all played for sideline, we would be gone for a tournament. But usually it would let the younger kids or even like some of our other players shine throughout the summer season, which makes them more confident in the real season. So even that's good for everybody on the team. And then after school starts in that little 2-week period, we start our fall league. And this year we didn't do a fall league necessarily, but we did a lot of tournaments to play against teams like that we don't normally see. And who did we play against in the Best of Maryland tournament?
We played for
Like-
some team from Virginia, Ohio.
Yeah.
That
I
was
think it was like the
that.
Virginia state champion runner
Yeah,
or something.
There's good teams down there. There's a lot of like
Yeah.
state champions and runner-up state champions and nationally ranked girls, individual players. And so, how was that experience?
It was good. I think that we did perform very well.
We did.
Playing against like top competition of different states just shows how far we've come, I think, as a team, and like shows that we deserve I guess you could say the hype that stuff we get passed on. And I think as a team, like we've grown so much that we know if we stay true to ourselves, we can compete against some of the best teams in the country.
To build
Good.
off of that too, at the Best of Maryland tournament, and we started like winning and competing against these like top level teams. That's whenever we realized like we're really gonna like show like everyone what we can do this year and like kind of like make a run in states. And I don't think anybody's gonna see it coming because like, but we knew in our small group that like we're gonna do something big.
Yeah, so just these girls from up in Allentown in the middle of Pennsylvania, nobody's going to expect that much from you, right? Yeah, well, they're going to be surprised, that's for sure. Melana, I'll stick with you. What's it like playing for 6th year, right? This is his 6th year, head coach Chris Flegel. I don't know how I got that wrong, but Coach Chris Flegel, Melana, what's it like playing for him?
I mean, I wouldn't ask for another coach, honestly. Like, in basketball like practices and stuff, like he can mess around, but whenever it's time to be serious, like he'll coach us. And I honestly think like he for like personally he got me through like my freshman year, which I like was on the struggle bus. I felt my freshman year, but
the struggle bus.
Yeah, but like I feel like our relationship has grown the past 4 years, and I think he's grown as a coach as well as like all of us as players too.
That's what it's all about. Everybody has to grow, you know? Okay, so Lanie, your team or your program have never won a Mid-Penn tournament, okay? You got there 2 years ago. You kind of ran into a tough team, Cedar Cliff.
Yeah.
I was at that game. I watched it. You guys played hard. You played well, but Cedar Cliff was just really good. They didn't lose until the state championship game. Would winning that tournament be meaningful?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's been one of our goals all season. And this is the year that we kind of realized that it's our year to do it. And
it is. It really is.
Yeah. So that's definitely, it is very meaningful to us. I mean, we'd get a banner in our school, which is kind of cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I think it's something to look forward to, definitely.
And it's
For
always
the-
nice to get like them 2 extra games as
Right.
well.
Mhm. Yeah, you're going to be playing 2 good teams. If as long as you win the first one, you'll play a second. And for those at home, there are 4 divisions in the Mid-Penn Conference. Each division winner plays in this tournament, and it's just a 4-teamer. The 2 teams that win the first round play against one another for the championship. And looks like it's going to be Trinity at this point out of the Capital, Mechanicsburg almost certainly out of the Keystone, and I'm not sure about the Colonial. And let's just put it this way: it's in your hands whether or not you end up there. You guys keep winning, you're going to be there. So, and I'll be there too. If you guys are there, I'll be there watching for sure. So I'm excited for you guys to have that opportunity. Okay, Zaelinh, how about the importance of your studies? To you personally, you don't like my questions, do you? You get tough questions.
I
do. But how important is it being a member of the Altoona girls basketball program? Do you guys kind of put a high important? Is it important to get good grades? I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I would say it's really important. Honestly, I think Altoona as a whole, like all of the student athletes in our school, I think Mr. Riccio does a good job at the beginning of each season to make
Athletic director Phil Riccio. I'm sorry to interrupt it for those at home.
No, that's okay. I think he makes it like known that to be an athlete, the student part comes first, and like for our sports to succeed, we have to be succeeding in the classroom first. And I would also say Flegel is very big on it, and he harps down on us. Like he'll say every once in a while to make sure our grades are up, and he checks like every once in a while to make sure that we're all good. And I feel like if somebody were to be struggling, which I think our team this year especially is pretty good on grades and stuff, but if somebody were to be struggling, like he would be able to help. He would lend a hand, like do whatever we need to get it up.
Yeah, when I talk to people and they ask me what I do, this is kind of what I do like full time now. I cover student athletes, and I use the word student athlete just about every single time that I explain what I do, or when I'm talking about girls like you or boy, I call them student athletes because let's face it, the athletic part's going to end at some point, right? And whatever you do to invest in your future, as a student is what's going to kind of pay off in the long run. So I'm glad to hear that there's a kind of a high priority set there for your studies. Any multi-sport athletes among the 3 of you?
Nope.
No.
Now, I'm going to say this. I didn't know what the answer was going to be. I'll bet you guys could play other sports, though.
Yeah, a lot.
Probably
I
so.
mean, we used to all of us used to play sports, but I think basketball being our number one, and we're all gonna play in college. I can't speak for you two, obviously, but I know I definitely wanted to just focus on sport.
Yeah, and not take the risk of getting hurt in another sport either.
That's smart. Yeah. How about you, Zaelinh?
So I played soccer last year.
How'd that go?
Good. I have actually played soccer like ever since I was little, and I've always played soccer and basketball. And then coming into high school, I ended up starting my freshman year on varsity just because 2 seniors ahead of me ended up getting hurt, unfortunately. And so kind of like obviously I was already nervous. So like me taking a break from a break from soccer my freshman year allowed me to like focus and tune in on some of the stuff that I knew I wasn't good at. And then I ended up playing my sophomore year because I missed it. And then this year, my junior year, I ended up not playing again because I kind of wanted to focus on basketball. And like, I'm at the point in my, I guess you could say, career where I need to figure out where I'm going for college and try to get where I want to be. So hopefully next year I'll play again because I do love the sport and I've always loved it since I was little. Just basketball is obviously my number one. So
yeah, you can kind of exhale once you've made that college choice. It doesn't mean you stop everything, but there's one like kind of heavy, I don't want to call it a cloud, but there's a weight that's lifted off of you once that's in place. So yeah, but I can imagine that any of the 3 of you could probably play some other sports if you wanted to, or if the situation kind of called for it. Okay, so not everybody, of course, can be on the show tonight. You guys have a roster of probably 13 or 14 players. Just a few of your teammates I want to kind of ask you about, okay? We're going to start with Lanie. Tell us a little bit about Samantha Harpster.
Sam, she's our shooter. Well, one of them.
She's your
other than-
shooter? Holy moly! You guys
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 shooters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But
So
I mean,
Sam's your shooter?
she's our starting. Like, she in our starting lineup, she's classified as like our shooter.
Right.
Sam's funny. Sam's so easy to get along with, inside and outside of basketball. And I feel like this year especially, she's been working really hard to help the team, and I think her defense has really improved, which I feel like people don't really give her credit on. They focus more on her offense, but I think this year her defense has definitely improved from past years, and she just gives us obviously one more person who can defend. So she's a very helpful part to our team.
And
Right.
I think she's like that solid player that like you'll know like what you're gonna get from her every game. Like she'll rebound, she'll defend, she'll knock down shots, she'll make the right play. Like she's just that solid player in our starting lineup.
I can tell you guys this: there's not a lot. Obviously, you guys, and I know who the stars are. I know who the best players are. Every team has those players, but there's not a lot of kind of drop off. When Coach Fliegel's bringing in his 6th player, first off the bench, or his 7th player, it's not that much different. They're out there to ball. They're not out there to chew up minutes and just give you guys a break. They're out there to do what you guys were doing when you were in the game while you're taking a break. And boy, that's a coach's dream where he or she could put a player in off the bench, maybe a 7th player, and they're going to give you close to the production as the 1 through 5 are. And sounds like that's what you're saying about Sam. How about let's go to Zaelinh. How about Brianna Hudson? Tell us about Brianna Hudson.
Brianna, she's just an athlete. Like she's all around. She knows what she's doing on the floor, and I think as she progresses through high school and in college, she's gonna be like a heck of an athlete and a heck of a basketball player. And I truthfully saying this, I think she deserves it. Like she works her butt off, and I truthfully believe that she will be one of the best players in the state. Moving forward.
There's no doubt. I mean, no doubt at all. And what class year is she for those at home?
She's a 20.
She's a freshman.
She's a freshman.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
29?
2028.
2028. Yeah.
The game that you guys, what was it, 3 weeks ago when you guys beat CD by a point, it was kind of a tale of two halves. You guys came out, I think you're up 15-12, and it ended up to be a close game. But I watched Brianna come in, and I thought, my first thoughts were, this girl's going to be good because she's a freshman, and then minutes later, I thought, this girl is good. It's not going to be, she's there. I mean, she's obviously going to improve a great deal, but for a freshman, I watched her. I guess that was her sister too that played too, right? A few years ago, there was another Hudson. Yeah, I watched her sister play, and her sister was one of the better players ever to come out of your school. So those at home, Brianna Hudson, keep an eye out for her for sure. And then Melana, let's ask Melana, what about this Raylan Eyer? Tell us a little bit about Raylan Eyer.
She's a straight shooter. Yeah. I mean, me and her always argue about who's the better shooter, but I'm gonna be honest, she's a better shooter.
Aww, clip that.
I mean, it's always nice to have somebody like that. We're always working out together. It's nice just to have that person to work out with.
And you guys have the same last name. Why?
We're siblings.
Okay. I kind of didn't lead with that. I figured you would say something about that, but that's cool that you did because you were giving her own props, without saying my little sister. So she's another one. What is she, a sophomore or junior?
She's a sophomore now.
She's a sophomore. So oh my gosh, you got Zaelinh, Brianna, and Raylan all coming back next year. Man, that's good. You guys are going to have something to come home and watch when you're off to college. So, okay, and that's just 3. I don't want to leave anybody. Is there another player that you want to kind of give props to, or somebody that's playing really well right now? Because I don't want to assume that they were the only 3 that you guys wanted to say anything about.
I would honestly just shout out our whole JV team in general, because I mean they push us in practice every single day, and whenever say a certain team that play a 2-3, they'll play as hard as they can in a 2-3 defense just to make us better. And you know.
So they're
like,
great
good-
practice team players. That's so important. Like so
Mhm.
important. That's a great shout out there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I was gonna say I was gonna go where Melana was going with our
Mhm.
JV players, but I would say especially Grace Statmiller. She's a
Mhm.
junior and she plays for the JV team, and she's probably one of the hardest working people on our team, especially in practice. I mean, she always usually guards me and she challenges me. She gets me really ready for games. I know, especially last year during playoffs, she did a great job of preparing us for that ball pressure that we were gonna expect. And just obviously, like Melana said, like our whole JV team as a whole, they just really prepare us well for our games and they give us what we need, which is nice.
Fabulous answer. I love hearing that. Okay, so let's start to wrap things up here. Let's talk about after high school. All right, and I'm going to go back to Melana. Any plans to continue your basketball career?
Yep. So I'm playing basketball at Shippensburg University.
Oh man, that's great. I like
Yep.
it. There's a lot of mid-pen players that end up there, and good ones too. Yeah. Do you know any of the women that we got to start calling them women once you get to the college level? Do you know any of the young women that are on that team right now in that program?
Yep, I know Alexis Bowie. She played for I think Cedar Cliff, but we played her
Central
in the
Dolphin and then Cedar Cliff. Yeah.
Yep, and then I know Riley Kraft. She's on that team. And then I'm actually going with one of my friends. She also got offered to Shippensburg. Her name's Allie Muma.
Okay, so have you committed there?
Yep.
Well, congratulations. And I like to ask this question because there may be younger people at home that are going through the process that you had to go through, like let's call it the recruiting process is what it is. What made you decide on Shippensburg?
Honestly, like out of all the visits that I've gone on and whatnot, I just feel like Shippensburg felt like home to me.
Okay.
And Coach Turn and like the whole coaching staff, honestly, they're all amazing. And they're so nice and welcoming. And just like the girls on the team, they're all super nice and welcoming. So I just
Okay.
kind of have like the feeling I'm like, I know this is my place.
And how about a major or a field of study? Do you have that pick? If you haven't chosen it yet, that's fine. But do you have any plans for what you want to be when you grow up?
Yeah, I'm majoring in exercise science.
Oh, great.
Yeah, because
Okay.
at some point, like my plan is to like own my own gym, and just like be a trainer.
So if you get a degree in that, you won't have to hire somebody that would teach you how to do that. You know how to do it yourself. That's great. Yeah. Okay. How about you, Lanie?
Yeah,
After high school.
Yeah, so I'm going to DUville University. It's in Buffalo, New York, and I'm going to play there and study nursing.
Okay, so you have plans for when you grow up too, right?
Yeah.
And how did you choose? Say again the name of the school.
DUville.
DUville.
Yes.
Spell that.
D apostrophe YOUVILLE.
Okay, great. And how did you choose DUville?
Honestly, Coach Broderick is one of the main reasons. I just felt that I really connected with her on a personal level, and I felt like she wants me. I feel like she wants me to succeed with academics just as much with my athletics. I think she's super supportive of me going into nursing because obviously it's hard. Nursing's a really tough major to be in, and
Brutal, very difficult.
yes, especially being a student athlete. And she's encouraging me to do it. She wants me to go and do a major that will challenge me, and I feel like a lot of other coaches kind of shy away from nursing majors just because it's hard to work around. But she really believes in me. I mean, she's just so she's encouraging. She's one of the nicest people I've ever met, and the girls on the team are all so nice, and they've all been so welcoming. Every time I talk to them, they're so kind, and they always say how they're so excited for me to come. So I'm just really excited to be there and be surrounded by so many amazing people.
Sounds like you're fortunate to be going there and they're fortunate to be having you. So that's great. And then I know, Zaelinh, that you already kind of gave away your hand that you want to play eventually out after. Where are you at
Yeah.
and all that? I'm not asking you to kind of show your hand, but do you have any like front runners schools? Anybody that you like so far, or if it's something you don't want to talk about, you don't have to talk about it either.
Sorry. Well, right now I have an offer from St. Francis University and Delaware University. I
University
don't
of
really
Delaware.
know. Wait, I'm sorry. What
You
did you
say
say?
University of Delaware?
Yeah.
Okay.
So right now, like, I don't really know. That's also what I was trying to focus on my junior year, was kind of where I wanted to go, because I don't really know yet. And after this AAU season, I hope I have a better idea. But college-wise, like school and studies, I want to major in biology and minor in neuroscience.
Oh my, that doesn't sound easy.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I'm interviewing a girl this Sunday night, Kyla Correa. She's a guard from Lebanon, and she's gone to Delaware. She's committed to Delaware. You guys ought to see her play. I mean, I know you guys are true basketball girls or players. She plays the game the way it's supposed to be playing. So remember, Kayla Correa, if you ever have a chance to watch her play. Okay, so you guys are probably on your paths, right? You guys are kind of in position that you're going to be, when you're ready to turn the page and enter your next phase in life. You guys kind of have things mapped out, at least to this point. So let's do this. Let me ask you this. One of my sponsors, Payer Apparel, they're an athletic apparel company, and we're going to get you guys T-shirts. They donate T-shirts.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, they're nice too. They're pretty cool. They're men's sizes. So I'm going to start with Melana. What size do you wear?
I'll just take a medium.
Okay. Lanie?
Yeah, I'll take a medium too.
Zaelinh?
I will too.
All 3 mediums. And what I'll do is, if I come up to your game against Central Dauphin, I'll bring them. If not, I'll have somebody. I'll give them to the coach or somebody to take up on the bus, and they'll get them to Coach Flegel. Okay, so before we finish here, we're going to do something that we call keeping it light. Okay, and what keeping it light is, I'm going to ask you some questions that have nothing to do with basketball, or maybe very little. Nothing to do with Altoona, nothing to do with your studies and your nursing major or where you're going to college. These are just going to give the people at home an opportunity to learn a little bit more about you as girls, So let's start with Melana. Favorite meal? What's your go-to meal? Let's just say it's your birthday and somebody says, hey, I'm going to take you out, or I'm going to cook you. Whatever you ask me to do, I'm going to cook you for your birthday. Or go out to eat.
Yeah, so I like Chinese food.
Okay. That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
I like maybe like some orange chicken and some like rice or something. But like
the story.
We have time for stories.
Okay.
Zaelinh, is this a story that should be airing on this podcast?
It's like embarrassing, but I don't really care.
Okay, what's the story?
We were on the way home from our tournament, our
like
Pittsburgh
our
tournament. Yeah, our tip-off tournament. And there's like a few places. There's like a Chipotle, Panera, and there's also this like little Chinese place. And I'm like, oh, that sounds good. So I go and get my food, and I'm sitting there eating it. And like I was like hungry, so I was like scarfing it down.
Like barely chewing, right? Hardly chewing.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and I didn't have a drink either. So I started choking on my food.
Okay.
I started choking on my food. We were like in Chipotle. And like I was like started sprinting to the bathroom because I was choking. I ended up like puking and like.
Now you had a future nurse right there with you, though, right?
Yeah.
Lanie, were you ready to assist her?
I didn't even know what was happening. She just like she literally like got up and started like running to the bathroom.
The moral of the story is never get that hungry where you're not chewing.
Yet Chinese is still her favorite food.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. Okay, let's move on to Lanie. Favorite sports team? Any sport at any level. Can't be Altoona girls basketball, but other than that.
That was my number one.
Okay.
Kidding.
What's your number? What's your number 2?
My number 2. This one's a hard one because I really enjoy.
Give me a couple then. Yeah.
I like Southern California women's basketball. They're so fun to watch.
Probably have the best player in the country right now.
Yes,
Probably.
Yep.
Period.
and I will fight anyone who argues that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But professional level, I would say New York Liberty. I really like Sabrina Ionescu. I really admire her game. I think she's a great player. And I've watched her since she played at Oregon, which I feel like is really cool because it's cool to see like women getting to live out their dreams of playing at the professional level. So, I mean, obviously, I feel like everyone likes Caitlin Clark. Obviously, she's a great player.
And for good reason. It's not hype.
Yeah.
She's incredible.
No,
like
not
incredible.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
I don't like that. I can't stand that argument that it's just all hype and no, it's not.
Like, how can you argue with that?
She does things that you rarely ever see on a basketball court.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go to Zaelinh. Do you like sweets?
Yes.
All right. So this is going to be a two-part question. Favorite dessert? Or one that you like. I don't want you to get it stumped or stuck on.
I'll go with ice cream.
Okay. Do you have a flavor that you like?
Oreo, cookies and cream.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a real good one. And part 2, favorite candy.
Ooh, Carmelos. The chocolate caramel in the middle.
Right.
Yeah, we have some.
Oh, I'm gonna have to get some.
Okay, good one. All right, so let's do one more round here. One question each. Let's go with Melana. Favorite TV series? Do you ever binge watch any TV series? Or one that you like?
Right now I'm into like the Marvel movies, and I'm like trying to watch the whole entire like Marvel like timeline.
The last show I
And,
did,
like,
they said the same exact thing. The Marvel movies. So that must be a big deal right now. Yeah.
Yeah, like really good movies, and I would have to say that Thor is my favorite. Thor is my favorite, but
okay. All right, Lanie, let's go. Let's find a good one for you. Okay, this is the question, and I tell myself don't ask this one, but I just get stuck asking it every time. And a lot of times people don't like this one. Favorite book? Do you have a favorite book? One that you've read before? Maybe you read as a little. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't like reading at all.
Okay,
but
that's fine. That's fine.
There is this one book. It's called "It Ends with Us" by Colleen Hoover, and it is the only book that I've read like 4 times. Like it doesn't matter how many times I read it. I love it every time. But it's like the only book that I will read, honestly.
Tell us just a little bit about that. For those at home that don't like reading, they might be encouraged to read this book. What's the plot?
So
is there no plot?
No, there's a plot. It's kind of bad.
Oh well, then no. Okay, let's just say that's probably a good book.
It has like sensitive topics.
Okay, then this is not a sensitive topic show. Okay, but thank you. That was a great answer though. You came because I've had grown men and women like coaches with master's degrees that look at me like I don't know about a favorite book. They have no clue how to answer that question. So well done. Okay, so let's go to Zaelinh and finish this up. Let's finish up keeping it light with favorite music genre. Or what are you listening to right now? What do you like to listen to?
So my favorite music genre is definitely R&B.
Okay. And who do you like?
My favorite artist is J. Cole.
Okay. All right. You guys were good at that, man. It didn't take you long to come out with all those answers. So that's keeping it light. Well done. And the last thing we're going to do here is shout outs. I know you guys already shouted out your JV basketball team and stuff like that, but let's do shout outs for people that I know that there's a lot of people watching this right now. And my assumption is that most of them are Altoona people. So who do you want to shout out, Melana? Whether they're watching or not, I'm
going to give a shout out to, I'm going to say so I do trainings with a group. It's called Unleashed Potential.
I'm familiar.
So yeah, I want to give a shout out to them, and as well as my trainer from Altoona. His name's Ryan Listoki, because I feel like I got into an accident not before the season started, but I feel like they really like brought me back and like got me ready for the season, and I'm like truly thankful for them. So I just want to give them a shout out for that. Like getting me back.
I want to shout you out for your recovery from that accident.
Yeah.
And we don't need to get into what that was all about, but I heard about it, and what a recovery you've made. And you know, I'm sure there were moments where you just had to force yourself to keep your chin up, stay on the path, stay positive, surround yourself with people that love you. And but I'm just so glad that you're back and you're doing well from that.
Thank you.
From that injury. Yeah. How about you, Lanie? Who you want to shout out?
Well, first I'm gonna start out with my mom and dad, because
Of course.
I wouldn't be here without them. They've given me everything that I have, and they've given me such unreal support all my life. And then I would say Charlie Parker, our AAU coach. He's helped us all so much. I mean, he's trained me, and he's I wouldn't say one of the first people who believed in me, but he was definitely one that really advocated for me. And then I would also say one of my past trainers, Aaron Wade. He's from Altoona. I think he still coaches. He might not, but he coached at Penn State Altoona for the boys side. And I would just say that he made me so much better as a point guard and just player in general. So that's who I would like to shout out.
Great shout outs. Zaelinh, how about you?
I'm actually gonna lean more towards like my everyday life people. Like instead of basketball, my mom and dad, obviously. My two older sisters. My oldest sister basically raised me and my middle sister, and she was always a guide for us, even though we thought she was annoying at the time. She was always a guide for us. And
of course, because she wanted you to do stuff that you didn't want to do,
yeah.
right? That's annoying when you're younger.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
She would just do anything for me now and then. Like, she's just an amazing person all around. And then my middle sister, even though we clash a lot, she'll still always do anything I'd ask, and she would always defend me in any argument. So just want to shout them out.
Thank you. Okay. Well, thank you very much, ladies. We have that was just Nguyen-Moore. We have Lanie Wilt. We have Melana Eyer. This has been as good as it gets. I mean, I do these all the time. I do 2 or 3 of these a week. You guys are talented. You're bright. You're funny. You're fun. You're interesting. And man, I just love that. You know, I never know what I'm going to get. And whatever expectations I may have had, they were exceeded tonight. So thank you very much. I wish you all well. You got some big games coming up. Again, I'm going to say one more time, you guys have a great team, and not to believe your own hype at the same time. You know, just kind of go a game at a time, a practice at a time. Keep supporting one another, and keep doing what it takes to win basketball games. So let me thank the sponsors, and then I'll let you guys go. Rickaba's Electric, Payer Apparel, Ted's Bar and Grill, Freedom Financial Wealth Management, the Tire Mart, Team PA, AAU Basketball, Tonino's Pizza, American Legion Post 272, Hoffman Ford Capital Region Insurance Agency, Modern Imprint, Sam Hartley Decking, Crystal Bobbitt, Howard Hanna Real Estate, and Underdog Sports Bar and Grill. Thank you once again to these great local businesses for their continued support of our area student athletes like these Altoona girls and Linglestown Gazette Sports. So for Zaelinh, Lanie, and Melana, I'm Joe Gilloway. This is Gazette Sports Chat. Thanks, ladies.
Thank
Have a great
you.
evening. Yep, take care. It was fun.